What's going on, Phillies fans? Big Al here, bringing you the Phightins final for a doubleheader tonight. The Phillies and the Nats split this doubleheader. Phillies win the first game 8-4 and fall to the Nats in this late game 5-4. And we're going to go through all that and talk about it and so much more Phillies talk. So let's get all into it. Remind you guys that this amazing show is brought to you by Sherry'sTickets.com. That's right, Sherry's Tickets, family owned and operated since 1946. Sports, concerts, theaters, you name it, they got it. No matter where you're at, you can find it. Great prices, no hidden fees. The price you see on the screen is the price you're going to pay. You'll get not bamboozled at checkout by any hidden fees, and you'll save yourself an additional 10% off with the promo code EOP10. That's right, EOP10 at Sherry'sTickets.com will save you 10%. So check it out. Double duty tonight. So Pat Bernard got the day off, and I got double work. Isn't that nice, Pat Gobbler? I'll tell you now. Whether Mother Nature had her way with the Delaware Valley and many other parts of the country last night. So obviously they pushed this to a doubleheader with the first game, first pitch at 4:05 this afternoon. Zach Wheeler take the hill today, this afternoon to usher the Phillies into their victory this afternoon. Between that and the Kyle Schwarber show, which was good to see. But Zach went 6 innings, 7 hits, 3 runs, 3 earned runs, 6 Ks and only allowed 2 home runs, period. And that was his line today. He went through 95 pitches with a split of 65 and 30 on strikes to ball ratio. Strom had a pitch one clean, 0 inning, and Ortiz had in relief for 2 innings, 4 runs, 4 hits, 1 run, 1 earned run, 1 strikeout, where they got their 4th run. But the Phillies are able to hang on, only allowing 11 hits over the 9 innings with 4 runs, 4 earned runs, and a total of 7 strikeouts. Like I said, it was the Kyle Schwarber show this afternoon. He went 2 for 4 with 2 runs, 2 hits, 5 ribbies, 1 strikeout, and a 2-run homer and a 3-run homer, which gives you his 5 ribbies. Bohm was the 2 spot with 1 for 4 with 1 run and 1 RBI and a hit. Harper was 0 for 4 for the first game this afternoon with 3 strikeouts. Castellanos was 1 for 4, 2 strikeouts. Stott was 1 for 3 with a walk and a strikeout. Realmuto was 0 for 4 and a strikeout. Trey Turner went 1 for 3, 1 run, 1 hit, 1 walk, and 1 strikeout. Jake Cave went 2 for 4, 2 runs, 2 hits, a strikeout. And Rojas was 2 for 4 with 2 runs, 2 hits, and 1 strikeout. So a lot of guys got hit today except for Realmuto and Harper. But Harper would make it up later in the evening game, of course, but just not enough, which we'll get to in a minute. Like I said, Kyle Schwarber's two home runs, 1 2-run and 1 3-run home run was his 5 ribbies, showing the long ball and knocking number 30 in for the year for Kyle. So this afternoon was a good game overall. Just it started, they were down 2, and then they kept rolling from there and were able to win the game, and it gave the Phillies the first win of the series, first win of the day, and made everybody feel all warm and fuzzy going into the second game that started just less than 3 hours and 20 minutes after the start of the first game. Walter's chiming in. It's tough to win doubleheaders. It's a shame yesterday was rained out. Phillies almost never win too. Yeah, it is, especially when they're back-to-back like that, because the lineup changes significantly, which we're going to talk about in a moment, Walter. And, I mean, the second game definitely was not your star-studded cast that you would usually have out there. So, look at the comparison to that game. And so the first, Schwarber was consistent with his spot in the leadoff spot on both games. In the first game, Bohm was at the 2 spot. In the second game, Castellanos was in the 2 spot. Harper stayed in the 3 spot for both games. Castellanos was in the 4 spot for the first game, and Turner was in the 4 spot for the first game. In the 5 spot, Stott was in the 5 spot for both games. In the 6th spot was Realmuto in the first game, Castro in the second game. Turner was in the 7th spot in the first game, and Jake Cave was in the 7th spot for the second game. And in the 8th spot, Cave was in the first game, and Stubbs was in the second game, and Rojas took the 9-hole in both games. But you can see the difference with the lineup because after 4 or 5, it starts to fall off. Castro, Cave, Stubbs, and Rojas. Rojas still playing very well, but still young. Stubbs, backup catcher, of course, because you don't want Muto, for a whole day on his knees. Cave, still, doing what Cave does, and Castro, one of the newly acquired players at the deadline from the Pittsburgh Pirates, the utility infielder, and just was not really effective this afternoon or this evening, I should say, against the Nats in the second game. Guys, remind you before we talk about game 2 here, which we will in a moment. If you ever get hurt at work in a motor vehicle accident, these can be life-changing and life-altering moments for people. And you need a good lawyer who's going to fight for your rights. And David Archeri is that great lawyer. 610-565-0300. Go to cherryinjurylaw.com. Like I said, workers' comp, motor vehicle, personal injury, criminal law. David Archeri is the man. 610-565-0300. Go to cherryinjurylaw.com and let Dave fight for your rights. So let's look at the scoring for the first game. Like I said, it started in the top of the second with a homer from Ruiz. We gave the Nats a 1-0 lead. Another home run from Lane Thomas scored C.J. Abrams, making it 3-0. 3-0 Nats. And then Kyle Schwarber comes up and gets a 2-run bomb with scoring him and Rojas, giving it just a 3-2 1-run deficit for the Phillies. And in the third inning, Alec Boehm said, "You know what? I don't like this. I want to tie the game up." And he let up a home run he gave a home run of his own, made it 3-3. And the scoring would continue from there. Kyle Schwarber would come in the bottom of the fourth, back-to-back innings, back-to-back home runs. His 30th on the year, fly ball to right center field. Jake Cave scores, Johan Rojas scores, making it 6-3 Phils. Jake Cave got it in the home run action in the first game, bottom of the sixth, and makes it 8-3, scoring him and Trey Turner in the process. And then Ruiz singles and on a line drive and scores Joey Meneses, and they're giving them their 4 runs, but just not enough. Just not enough for them. Not nothing for the Nationals to work off there, and gave the Phillies the 8-4 victory. And the Phillies had 8 runs off of 10 hits and 1 error in that game. Chris saying no reason for Castro to play over Sosa. I don't know if it was a pitching matchup or was Sosa a little dinged up still. I don't know. So I'm not sure if there was a reason he played over him, or maybe it was the righty-lefty matchup type situation. I'm not sure why they chose him, but that was the ultimate choice for the second game, of course, because he's not playing the first game. So let's jump into. Let's see. Why can't Castro go to the minors and pick up Segura for next to nothing? He sure wants to give the Samar line and Brewers. I mean, I don't know what the Samar, but listen. I've talked about this. Bringing back Gene. I don't know. I don't know if there's anything left in him. I'm sure if there was, they would have brought him back. But who do you bop down? And I guess you're saying Castro, but you just picked him up too. So what was the point of picking him up if you were just going to wait for Gene Segura to get out? But the Marlins, gotcha. The Marlins and the Brewers, yes. I'm sure he would love to give it to the Marlins and the Brewers, but does he have anything left? That's the question. And I'm sure they kicked the tires on him. They thought about it. Maybe they will. They still have the opportunity to. Obviously, nobody's picking him up. It's not like you have no choice. Maybe we'll see Gene Segura back before the end of the year, but I don't know. I just don't know if Gene Segura has anything left. I mean, it wasn't like the Marlins got rid of him. They literally trade him with the Brewers knowing that they were going to release him as soon as they trade him. That was part of the conversation. So, like I said, it's. I think we all kind of live in the past a little bit on that one. And it would be nice. Maybe returning to Philly would re-energize Gene for the rest of the year. But it'd be something to behold if it does happen. I'm sure this town would go nuts. I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know if it's just if there's nothing left. I just feel like it's a retread that kind of will blow up in our face. So while it's not a bad idea, I just don't know if it's a great idea either. So we'll see. I mean, Castro is Castro, is who he is. I mean, you bring him in here for his crazy offensive presence. He's a utility infielder. You know, he wasn't a big get. Let's be honest. He was kind of what Sosa was to us last year. I mean, Sosa was a little bit more proactive for us throughout the late into the season and into the postseason. So I don't know. Maybe they see the same thing from Castro. Not sure, but he wasn't there tonight. Guys, remind you this show is brought to you by PhillySportsTrips.com. They got a great setup going to London next year, June 6th to the 12th, to watch the Phillies take off the Mets in London. That is awesome. If you can get onto that trip, do it now. Go drop your deposit at PhillySportsTrips.com, or go drop any of the away games for the Eagles. They have the Flyers, the outdoor game. So many different things you can go to PhillySportsTrip.com. There's something for everybody. Different things that fit the price that you need to pay, that you can afford to pay. It is an amazing trip. It is an amazing experience because that's what it's about, the experience, not just tickets and plane rides and hotels. It's the experience. It's the other Philly fans. Go to PhillySportsTrips.com and check it out today. So let's get to game 2. Like I said, started off at 7:24 p.m. and Ranger Suarez was on the hump for the night. Ranger went 5 and 2/3 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, let up 2 walks, struck out 5, and had 1 home run. And would pitched a good game, and he was good to get us to almost 6 innings. But that that would be about the rest of it for us, because the bullpen is kind of what caused a lot of the problems today. A lot of long balls that went against the Phillies tonight were the ultimate cost of the late game. Hoffman allowed the game tying home run that brought it to 4-2. He let up 1 innings pitching, 1 hit, 2 runs, 2 earned runs. Dominguez had it pitched, and he had only let up a walk. Soto, 1 inning pitch, let up had 1 strikeout. Craig Kimbrell was the one who, unfortunately, closer mentality, man. I don't know if it's just, when it's not a closing situation, sometimes a different mentality, but in 1 inning, 1 hit, 1 run, 1 earned run, which was allowed the game winning home run from Meneses and gave the 5-4 lead to the Nats that they would hold on to, because the Phillies would come up short and pretty much went out quietly into that good night in the 9th inning. Let's get it. Missed opportunity to take both. 1 should have played Sosa, not Castro. 2, Hoffman never should have come back out in the 7th. Yeah. I agree with both of those statements. Let's get it. So yeah, you're not gonna. I don't know what else to say, but yeah, I 100% disagree. I mean, 100% agree with both of those statements. So yeah, it was. Listen, the lineup wasn't the most stellar lineup. They really went bench heavy at the bottom half of the lineup, which definitely didn't help as well. And why Castro over Sosa? That is the question. So, and it's a decision that if we won, we wouldn't have discussed, but it is what it is. But let's look at the lineup tonight. Kyle Schwarber led off again. This time he played left field instead of DHing. He was 0 for 3 with 1 run, 2 walks, and a strikeout. Castellanos was in right field, 2 for 5 tonight. Good night. 1 run, 2 hits, and a strikeout. Bryce Harper DH'd in the second game. He was 1 for 5 with 1 run, 2 RBIs, and 3 Ks, but he was the one who tied the game up 4-4 with the game timing home run. Trey Turner, another good outing for him. 2 for 4, 1 run, 1 ribby, and 1 strikeout. Stott was 1 for 3 with 1 ribby and a walk. Castro was 0 for 4 and 2 strikeouts. Cade was 1 for 4 and a strikeout. Stubbs was 1 for 4 and a strikeout. And Rojas was 0 for 3 with a walk and a strikeout. Just these seem like the guys probably played 2, kind of fell a little bit off, maybe got tired. They don't really do back-to-back games like this, so it was interesting to see. But That was your lineup tonight. But let's talk about a couple storylines here. It was a good night, a good day, 24 hours overall for Kyle Schwarber. It was 2 for 7 with 3 runs, 2 hits, 5 RBIs, 2 walks, and 2 Ks, with the 2 home runs that we mentioned overall today. So it was a good game overall. And the reason I bring that up is because I have a feeling that the thing that happened with Trey Turner, the topic of conversation that has been about how this city, this fan base came together and said, instead of booing a guy or kicking a man when he's down, let's prop him up, let's support him, let's show him that we love him, care about him, want him to do good for this team. And it really, I mean, early on, it's still early, but early on looks like it really is paying dividends. And I don't think just for Trey Turner either. Um, I think I think the whole bench saw this. You know what I mean? Saw what this team's capable of, and was almost like a playoff atmosphere in against Kansas City Royals, who are bottom feeder team. But it was a playoff like atmosphere to go and celebrate one of their own in Trey Turner. Let's get it. Chimes in here. Thompson always overthinks, in my opinion. Sir Anthony, Soto, Kimbrel, they just the way it's ideally drawn up. How does Thompson oversee this? How does Thompson oversee this so often? Alvarado, when he returns, will help. Hopefully, I'm really a little nervous about the Alvarado thing. It seems like it's taking a little longer than it should. I'm hoping that he'll be able to come back to the way he was, because he's already been injured twice. And he first came back, he struggled a little bit. Then he was able to, kind of get himself back together. Then he fell off again, and of course, because of injury, and he's been out ever since. And the guy who throws the heat that he throws, I get a little nervous when these guys have a couple nagging, ongoing injuries, especially the guys who throw with the velocity that Jose Alvarado does. So let's get it. Let's see, But this has been a topic of conversation for Phillies fans, for people going, it was it phony? Listen, anytime you're out to support a human being, there's nothing phony about that. And that's the thing that's really been ticking me off with some people who kind of been poo-pooing, maybe hot takers, whatever it is. I think it's a wonderful thing, especially for an organization and a fan base, especially, who just kind of gets pooped on a lot because we're overzealous and we're aggressive and angry, and we boo our own grandmothers, I mean. And yeah, we are blue collar, gritty fan base, but overall, the the outpouring that I saw from fans, from the 40,000-ish people who were there over the weekend, and people said, oh, maybe it went on too long. I don't know. I mean, they did a lot in the Friday night game, which wasn't a huge, he did better than he has been. Wasn't striking out, 0 for 4 and striking out 3 of those 4 times, or just little bloopers getting out of there. I mean, he was looking better. He was looking positive. But that second game, we saw a turnaround. But I think you're seeing a reflection across the board here, and a resurgence. I mean, Nick Castellanos was struggling for a while. He looks like he's doing pretty well. Kyle Schwarber over the last few games since that happened, he's feeling the energy. I mean, I just think it's kind of unfair that people were upset about that. Like, maybe not unfair, but like just ridiculous. I think you need to get over it. Like, I think it's a good thing when a 40, like, when was the last time you got 40,000 people to do anything, and agree to do anything in unison? I mean, seriously. That doesn't happen in any situation. I don't care if it's sporting events or not. When was the last time you got 40 Phillies fans to agree to do something like this? And it wasn't just the 40,000 that were there. It was the people were standing up in their homes clapping. I mean, I know I wasn't clapping, but I was like, getting behind, like feeling the energy as well, watching it, watching it. If you're watching from the stands or at home on your TV, at a bar with a friend, like if you go to Dolan's bar, like we do to watch the games a lot. It's it's an amazing thing. And the fact of the matter that people were poo-pooing it or saying it was fake or phony is BS. It's not fake. When you support people, it's not fake. Maybe like they were saying, if it continued to go on and they were just cheering him no matter what, and it wasn't working and he was just kept cheering him, that gets a little phony. But the fact that you're showing support's amazing. But guys, I want to thank you for joining me tonight. I know I kind of cut it short right there, but I want to thank you for joining me tonight. Thank you for joining EOP. Check it out. Smash that subscribe button. The Phillies win the first game 8-4 and lose the second game 5-4. So they split the doubleheader tonight. 2 more games tomorrow and Thursday. Real quick, guys, I want to go through the I want to look at the out of town scores from today. Right now, Los Angeles is up 5-3 on San Fran. So let's hope that continues at the end of the fifth. Right now, Arizona is down down 4-0 to the Dodgers in the mid sixth. In the bottom of the sixth, Seattle is up 1-0 over San Diego. Oakland is down 1-4 in the top of the sixth over the with the Rangers. As we know, the Phillies won and lost today, so we can skip over that. Tampa Bay beat St. Louis 4-2. Detroit lost 6-0. Won 6-0 over the Twins. Cincinnati lost to Miami bringing Miami's losing streak. Lost 3-2 to Miami. Houston beat Baltimore 7-6. And Atlanta beat Pittsburgh 8-6. KC beat Boston 9-3. Chicago beat New York, the Mets, I should say, the Mets 3-2. Cleveland beat Toronto 1-0. The Yankees beat the White Sox 7-1, and Colorado beat Milwaukee Brewers 7-3 in 10 innings. And that is your out of town scoreboard. And let's look at your wild card right now. We are in second with we're with a 62-52 record, 10 games over 500, and with up 3 over Chicago, who is in the not up 3, over Chicago, who is in that third wild card spot. San Fran is 3.5 right now. If they lose tonight, then we will probably be tied up again. So, and then we will be tied for that top spot in the wild card. Cincinnati is looking in just a point behind Chicago. That loss to Miami tonight didn't help them. Miami's a half a game out. Arizona's 1.5 games out. San Diego's 3.5 games out. But then it gets really deep with the Mets, Pittsburgh, and so on and so forth. And the Dodgers are in the top of their division, and Milwaukee right now is the top of the Central Division. But that is, guys, that is it. When I hit that subscribe button, check us out. We'll be back with more Phightins finals this week, as well as an amazing lineup here at Edge of Philly Sports. Just in the last 24 hours, you had Talking Philly Sports with Matty B with a new time on Monday nights, doing an amazing job leading this week off. He's going to hate me for saying this, but he's our new Kyle Schwarber in the leadoff. Of course, there was no Phightins final last night due to the weather. But Party on Broad had a special Flyers prospect special tonight at 7. Birds at the round table talking Eagles, Ravens preseason game and what to look for and what they're going to be looking at. That was at 8 o'clock tonight. And Chalk Talk ended just a little while before I went live, looking at the AFC North and South for what it is in the NFL right now. And, of course, this Phightins final. But tomorrow it's another amazing one. Party on Broad comes back at 6, 7 o'clock, Philly Press Box Radio. And at 8:30, I'm back with Joe and Fred for Edge of Philly Sports and a Phightins final after that. And there are plenty more this week. Check it all out here at eopsports.com, as well as all our social media. Like, subscribe, check it out. Guys, hopefully you enjoyed tonight. We'll see you again. Hopefully the Phillies can take this series against the Nats. They need to continue to win series and win games and continue to build leads against these teams behind them, and hopefully take that first spot and maybe even bid for the make a bid for that first spot. I mean, so it's a long shot, but it's still mathematically possible. So anything's possible. So guys, check it out. I am Big Al, and I will see you next time.